Hi, this is Koiro. Some time ago I promised you an update on the EuroPC project, and this is part 9 actually in that series, and this is just a short update, and it's also a question: should I bother to use more time on this device, as there obviously are more faults in the future on this computer. We have not tested the keyboard, we have not tested the floppy drive, and the problems we have now is that we can't store the CMOS settings, so we are not sure if the COM ports, the serial ports, and that circuit is working as it should. And to remedy this, we are going to change the M3002 chip that you can see here down on this side, the circuit of. And there actually are some confusions around this chip, and we have covered this before. There is a change in the schematics where this circuit is turned upside down, but I have measured this again and again to make sure that we have continuity in all the places, and this circuit is actually made as it is stated in the schematics. But then again, the red markings, is this a fix that should be made? I'm not sure. But the case is, I'm just going to drop in replace the M3002. We have measured before, we do have clock, we do have the data line signals that is required, and we also have the other signals around this chip as they are supposed to be, I think, because I'm not quite sure how the sequence to store data and stuff in this chip is made, because there are several options on how this should work. And I also tested the old chip in many ways, and I didn't find any fault with it, but then again, it's a memory chip, so it of course can fail on some of the registers and in some specific situations. And I ordered a new chip, and I do think it is a genuine replacement part. I'm not sure, because you can't be sure on anything that is new old stock on the internet these days, but it do look genuine. It has a different date code and some different markings from my original chip, but otherwise it looks okay. So that's what we are going to test today. We are going to replace the clock chip, we are going to boot the computer and see if we actually are able to store something in the CMOS memory and if the clock chip is keeping its clock. Yes, I'm back out in the shed, and I'm going to try one more thing on the Schneider EuroPC before we eventually work further on this, or we give this a break. The last time we concluded that I wanted to try a new of these real-time clock chip, the M3002, and I have got one of these chips. I do think it's a legitimate chip. It do look very similar to the prints that I've seen online, and it also looks quite similar to this, but although not exactly the same. So I'm going to try to change this, and we are going to try to boot this a couple of times to see if there is any change on the behavior, if we are able to store any of the information that we clock into the BIOS. So that's what we are up to today. And the EuroPC is still connected to my original IBM XT keyboard through the adapter we made, and it's coupled to this socket for the onboard keyboard controller. So that we are going to keep connected while we test this. So let's just open the package and see what we have inside. It comes in this small piece of sawn-off tube. That's actually a very good way to ship these kind of things, but they ought to be in a shielded bag as well. And this is the chip, and we are just going to pry this one out of here. This was a very corroded chip, and it was in the most corroded area of the board. Yeah, there are some small changes, but the original chip is, it's very difficult to see, but it also got the M3002 written underneath. I don't know if that is a good sign. It's not done that on the original chip. Yeah, we just have to plug it in and see how thing goes. On some of the clock chips on a computer, you do get some problems when you don't have preloaded values. But that should not be an issue on the M3002, as I understand it from what I read about other computer that uses this. It's also used on the Atari ST among others. Yeah, I just have to adjust the bench power supply to about 5.1 volt so that we can connect this straight into the circuit. And I'm going to plug this in and see what happens on screen. And I do again have a problem with capturing this video, so I do have to use my phone, and that will of course cause a bit of flickering. This is what happens. It looks about the same as it did last time, and I know it's a colossal flickering on this. I don't have any LCD panel that's able to display RGB in a natural way, but I will try to make some snap pictures of this. Yeah, and we Alt Control Escape into the setup menu. I'm not going to do so much. I'm going to try to change this into Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and drive is not installed, it's okay. Boot drive, it's okay. Video startup is not special adapter, it's color graphics. Internal video is of course enabled in color. And then it was these things that we couldn't do anything with. Okay, this we can do anything with, because it was 512K on this motherboard, and the COM ports and the other stuff, I am not sure. I didn't find the COM port, and sometimes it does not do that. So we just hit enter to store. And we are crossing our fingers for good luck to see what happens now when it starts again. Yeah, it says about the same error messages that it did on our last startup. And it's gone back to Deutschland. So I'm not very happy with this. I try to store it again with friends. See what they say. They're probably on strike, but so it's not able to store anything on this chip either. So that means that there is some more fault on this board. But I will try to root up all the traces around the clock chip once more, and we will try this computer again. So this was just a short status report of where this is at. So it was at least not just a quick fix with the clock chip, so we have to take it from there. So there, I did it again. I promised you another episode in this series, even though I'm starting to give up. Off camera now, because I was running out of batteries and I didn't notice. I measured out all the points for the nearest contact point for the M3002 chip, But of course there can be some connections further away that's not gone. I also sprayed with some contact cleaner in the socket. Even though the socket is brand new, there could be some corrosion coming over from the ship that has feet that is a bit corroded. So everything checks out around the socket, and I did try it again after I've used the deoxidizer on the socket and the ship, of course. So what are we going to try next? I'm actually going to measure out these points on the ship again, and I'm also going to check this ship for functioning again. But to do that, I do have to install and reverse the changes I've did with the NEMH battery, and I'm going to put in an old-fashioned NiCad battery just to test. So I'm just going to desolder an old nickel cadmium battery if I can't find anything that I've already desoldered. I'm going to charge it on a separate charger to see that it takes charge, and I'm going to test this M3002 ship with that battery, because that's something I've never done before. I've not tested this ship without an NEMH battery and the reverse circuit that you need there to avoid it being charged. And as far as I know, I haven't found any information on this on the internet, so as far as I know, I don't think it's tried before with this exact circuit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to plug in a NiCad battery and see how that goes. But that is the next installment in this series, as I'm taking my Easter vacation now, so this will be the last video for a couple of weeks. So thanks for watching. Hope to see you again in my next video. Please hit like and subscribe, as it really would help out the channel so that we get noticed by new viewers. So happy Easter, everyone.